A beautiful day to get an early start and roll to the ballpark. Day baseball at Citi Field. Time for a nice tailgate. That looks good.
I love tailgates.
They didn't invite us. Kids in the ballpark today. Lots of kids. And the Mets wrap up their series with the Padres. At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the San Diego Padres. Mets baseball is presented in HD by IOTV. Get the best in HD free with IOTV. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. I'm Gary Cohen. Keith Hernandez joins me in a moment, and later on, Hall of Famer Ralph Kiner as well. The Mets wrap up their four-game series against the San Diego Padres. It's been an entertaining series marked by comebacks and near comebacks. On Monday night, the Mets were down a couple of runs in the ninth inning against Heath Bell. David Wright drove in a run to get them close. A wild pitch set it up, and then Lucas Duda played hero with a base hit up the middle to score the tying and winning runs. And the Mets rallied for a 9-8 win to get the Mets off to a fast start in the series. Then on Tuesday, down 2 runs in the 8th, Angel Pagan got the comeback started with a home run to get them within a run. This time, Duda contributed with his first Major League sacrifice bunt, and with the bases loaded and the score tied, Ruben Tejada took ball 4 from Josh Spence. Jason Isringhausen wrapped it up with his 299th career save, and the Mets had back-to-back multiple-run 8th inning or later comeback victories for the first time since 1965. Last night, a different story. The Mets made innumerable mistakes, both physical and mental. R.A. Dickey committed an error. Angel Pagan, who would later leave the game with back spasms, committed an error as well. The Mets had base-running mistakes as well. Ruben Tejada should have scored on this fly ball, failed to slide, and was tagged out at home plate. And R.A. Dickey did not have his greatest stuff either, as the Padres, who have been an offensive juggernaut during this road trip all of a sudden, put together a big lead. This time, the Mets had a chance in the bottom of the ninth inning with the bases loaded and the tying run at the plate, but a line out from Willie Harris to end the game. And so the Mets fell 9-5. And now the final game of the series today, and the Mets hoping to head to the West Coast on a positive note.
Well, you know, they got a chance to take 3 out of 4 from the Padres, and that would be a big plus for this club, a big emotional lift after losing Reyes and Murphy on this homestand. I think the pitching has got to pick it up a little bit, Gary. They have given up 4 or more runs in every game in this homestand, so it's been kind of a slide back for the pitching, and it's been on both sides, the relief corps as well as the starting pitching. And we all know pitching is the name of the game, and the season has its ups and downs, but the pitching's got to start picking it up.
And the starter this afternoon will be John Neese, who last year threw a one-hit shutout against the San Diego Padres.
A complete game, obviously, there if he got the shutout, and it's been a struggle for Jonathan, and you can see his last 4 starts. He has only gotten into the 6th inning once in those 4 starts. Hasn't been able to get out of the 5th. Get through the 5th inning. So he has been having trouble getting with the big inning. He's got to be able to stop the bleeding when the team puts the pressure on him in one particular inning. He can throw 6 innings, great ball, and all of a sudden, boom, lose it in 1 inning.
And the Padres will throw rookie left-hander Corey Lupke, coming off a very good start his last time out.
Well, he's been here all year, and the devastating injuries they've had to this rotation, he has started, he's replaced him as a starter. His last time out against the Pirates, he had a very, very good game. He's got a good ERA, tough on left-handers.
And so it's the Mets and Padres wrapping up the homestand. Mets have won only 3 of 8. Try and finish it on a positive note today on a gorgeous day in New York. Come on back. to you by IOTV. Get the best in HD free with IOTV. By Common Ground Alliance, know what's below. Call 811 before you dig. By AT&T, rethink possible. By Chase, with over 16,000 ATMs nationwide and more on the way, take a step forward and chase what matters. By the American Red Cross, come to the Mets blood drive at Citi Field on August 13th and help save lives. And by North Shore LIJ, hope lives here. Follow the Mets with the MLB.com @Bat11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Check in using @Bat at Citi Field to receive special offers. Text @Bat to 31826 or visit Mets.com for details. Mets and Padres, lots of kids in the stands. A camp day. First pitch coming up. The only other time he faced the San Diego Padres last June the 10th, second game of a doubleheader. The only hit against Nice, an opposite field double by Chris Denorfia leading off the third inning. Nice did not allow another base runner the rest of the game. A complete game, one hit shutout, no walks, 6 strikeouts, a 3-0 victory. The most dominant game that John Nice has pitched as a big leaguer. He was spectacular that afternoon and even got the pie in the face for his efforts. Although the bill of the cap took most of the brunt. The interesting thing about that game, with Nice now facing the Padres this afternoon, is that not one player who was in the lineup for the Padres that day is in the lineup today. And here is the Padres starting lineup. In fact, the only guy in the lineup that Nice has ever faced before is Cameron Maybin from his days with the Marlins. Jesus Guzman, Kyle Blanks, they've been tearing it up in this series. The Padres have scored 56 runs in their last 6 games. Quite a change of course for them. Maybin leads off, takes a fastball for a strike, and we're underway.
There's Jonathan Nice right there, 24 start. And that's what he needs to get over right there. That curveball and keep that fastball down.
May have been 5 for 14 in the series, hitting a .277 and a late swing on the foul ball. Well, Nice has been living right lately.
Yes,
Two of his last 3 starts, he pitched 5 innings, allowed 5 runs, and got a win.
Well, good for him. You know, that makes it up. It all evens out. Going for his 12th win.
Logan Forsythe on deck. I don't know. Would R.A. Dickey tell you that it all evens out?
Well, that's been that kind of year for R.A. There's always someone that's a hard luck pitcher. You know, growing up as a kid in San Francisco, it was always Gaylord Perry. Lose the 1-run game.
Dickey gave up 3 earned runs last night. Retired his last 11. The Mets, who had come back in the first 2 games of the series, couldn't do it last night, in part because Bobby Parnell got blown up in the 9th, which made the comeback that much more difficult. What the Mets need more than anything else right now is a shutdown game from a starter. Broken bat, and Nice fields the ground ball as the bat trickles out toward David Wright, and may have been retired for the first out of the game.
And we'll take a look at the Lexus Metropolitan defense. And I hope you folks noticed David's orange shoelaces on his spikes. 8th start in center for Hairston. Pagan left the game last night with back spasms. So Hairston, there, look at that. They're actually red and they're very ugly.
I would call that orange because the fans are true to the orange and blue.
Can I see that again?
Logan Forsythe, the number 2 hitter, playing second base today.
Ugh.
Hit sharply, and the man with the orange shoelaces makes the play for the second out.
Nice play by Dave here. Bullet, hot corner, in between hop. Well, caught a semi in between hop. Nicely done. No chance to get in front of that ball. Nicely done. Good glove hand, good throw.
So 2 out and nobody on. So you might not like the orange shoelaces, but he plays well with those.
He made a nice play with them.
Here's Jesus Guzman, who has introduced himself to New York in this series. And Hairston makes the running grab to end the inning. A good one for John Nice. He throws 9 pitches, gets the side in order, and the Mets come up in the bottom of the 1st with no score. Afternoon. Scott Hairston takes over the leadoff spot with Angel Pagan out with the back spasms. Jason Bay slides into the cleanup spot against the lefty, but Lucas Duda stays in there, the only left-handed regular in the lineup today. against Corey Lupke.
Well, Lupke from Coldwater, Ohio. Got called up in September last year in a stretch run, thrown right into the rotation. 3 starts. Was 1-1 for the Pods. Last year, AA, AAA, he was 10-1 in the minor leagues before they called him up.
Scott Hairston leading off today. Scott has actually led off more in his career than he has hit in any other spot in the batting order, so he's got plenty of experience as a leadoff hitter. 1 for 3 in this series. Hitting at .265 for the year. Justin Turner on deck, then David Wright, as the Mets present a predominantly right-handed lineup against Lupke, who's held left-hand hitters to a 150 batting average this year.
6'4", 206, and it looks to me like he's got a pretty good fastball.
Came out of Ohio State. Supplemental first-round pick in '07. And he's been throwing that slider at the back foot of the right-hand hitters. He did that a lot against the Pirates in his last start and had a lot of success with it.
That means they were fishing for the bad one. When you throw it for the back foot, it's a ball.
And he gets Hairston for the first out. So Lupke, who struck out 9 Pirates in 7 innings in his last start, fans the first man to face him.
Well, there it is. There's the slider, and that's a lot of break. That's a tough pitch to lay off. And we'll take a look at the San Diego Padre Coors Light defense. Well, they haven't made very many errors behind Lupke, and he has also had, 37 games, 8 starts. This is his 9th start. So mainly in relief until the guys went down, and that took the place of Richards when he went on the DL.
Clayton Richard, the talented young lefty, whom the Padres got for Jake Peavy, and he made his last start in early July, and he's out for the year.
There's Bud Black, an old teammate of mine, one of my good friends. I really like Bud. Easy-going guy.
Pretty good lefty starter in his day. Yep. Watching his young lefty today.
Bud and I's path crossed in Cleveland in my last year. He's one of the good guys.
3-1 to Justin Turner, who's 3 for 12 in this series, hitting at .269 for the year. Lupke working quickly, and it's 3-2 to Turner.
Turner took a call early last night, 0 for 4, and it was the first time I've ever seen Turner not swing the bat great. He had a tough day yesterday. We all have them.
And ball 4, so Turner, who does not walk a whole lot, is on with a 1-out walk. Mets have drawn more walks than any team in the National League this year. Padre pitchers walked 4 last night. So here's David Wright with 1 out and 1 on. David last night had a 5th inning double, and with that double, moved to 2,047 total bases for his career, which tied a Mets club record. So he and Ed Kranepool are even atop that career total base list. Just one more category where David is going to grab ownership of a Mets career mark. He already has the career doubles record, and by the time he's done, he'll probably have a whole bunch of others.
And Ed Kranepool, if you're listening, don't worry. All your records are for Shea Stadium are intact. No one's going to get them.
Eddie spent, 18 years as a Met? He was signed out of James Monroe High School as a 17-year-old in 1962 and made his debut for the Mets that year. Wright hits one out to center field, and Maben circles in. And that's the 2nd out. So David's retired, 2 away. Now Jason Bay will come to bat. Jason has his 11-game hitting streak stopped last night when he went 0 for 3, 0 for 4.
Beautiful day for a day game. This is like a May day, for crying out loud, not August. No humidity.
So that graphic, Lupke has never allowed a first inning run in the major leagues. Well, if it were about 10 degrees cooler and maybe the humidity was a tad lower, it would feel just like San Diego. Mets will be in San Diego next week, where it's scheduled to be 73 and sunny every day.
I have not been to San Diego, and this is the third year in a row now. Mr. Gowdy has not scheduled me there.
They didn't ban you, did they?
No, I did all the bowing before. Prostrated myself.
How many times in your life have you really had to prostrate yourself?
A couple.
It's pretty good.
That's all right. Hey, you're never too big for that, you know?
We all make mistakes.
Particularly when you're wrong.
Yeah. We all make mistakes.
Of course.
It's how you handle them.
Certainement.
Turner not a big base stealer. 6 stolen bases this year. Corey Lupke, 26 years old. Made 29 relief appearances before being plugged into the rotation, and he has gotten better and better as he's gone along. Bay hits one off the fist, shallow left. Blank's coming on. It'll drop for a hit. And so the Mets have their first base hit, a little bloop from Jason Bay.
You'll take him any way you can get him. A little cutter on the hands, and it gets in on Jason. Kid's got a nice cutter. He's got a chance to be a pretty good pitcher, what I see so far. Banks does not cover a lot of ground out in left field.
They've been taking blanks out of games late for defense. So Bay has himself a base hit, so 2 out of 2 on for Lucas Duda. Duda 6 for 13 in this series, including the game-winning hit on Monday night. Hitting a .278 for the year. And again left in the lineup against the lefty, as he was on Tuesday night against Wade LeBlanc. And he takes a strike.
Oh my goodness.
Somebody dropped something.
It's a mere bag of shells.
Somebody was paying for their beer out in the left field seats and dropped $1 on the warning track.
Could be.
Or is it a tip? I mean, is he thinking, Kyle Blanks makes the minimum salary? Maybe he could use a buck?
Do you know what minimum salary is?
Maybe they don't realize what the minimum salary is. It's over $400,000.
Wow.
They don't need the money. Nick Evans, who had a big pinch hit last night, waiting on deck. Duda gets tied up inside, but he stopped the swing. It's 2-1. Duda's held his own against lefties, hitting .269 against them. Had a couple of hits in that Tuesday night game against LeBlanc. Turner and Bay aboard with 2 down as the Mets try and get off to a good start against Lupke. First time they're seeing him. In foul ground, Darnell shading his eyes, but that's well out of play. I don't think he ever saw that ball. James Darnell making just his second major league start. It is a very bright sky this afternoon. If he's going to play in San Diego, he's going to have to get used to that.
Hey, there's blue skies everywhere, even in Cleveland. Occasionally.
Well, once in a while. I don't think it was blue when you were there. I think it was all clouds. 2 out, 2 on, 2 and 2 to Duda. Lupke's already thrown 22 pitches in the opening inning, trying to avoid giving up his first ever first inning run. Having a little Lupke and Martinez having trouble getting together, so they'll converse.
As Gary mentioned, Lupke, lefty's hitting 150 off him. He's only given up 6 home runs in his 88 and the third innings. All 6 of them to right-handers, so he's yet to give up a home run against a lefty.
Two out, 2 on, 2 and 2 to Duda. And he struck him out with a fastball, so Lupke does a nice job getting out of first inning trouble. A couple of strikeouts for Lupke, and no score after 1 at Citi Field. Last night, the Brewers won their 6th in a row. Randy Wolf, 8 strong innings to beat the Cardinals 5-1. The Brewers now have a 5-game lead. The Diamondbacks are back in first place by themselves for the first time since June 24th. Josh Colmentor pitched them to a 6-3 win over Houston, and Dan Uggla extended his hitting streak to 31 games as the Braves moved to 20 games over 500. Kyle Blanks leading off the second for San Diego and takes the curveball from John Neese, 2-0. Blanks 5 for 10 in this series. 6'6", 275 pounds. He is enormous. Grew up in Moriarty, New Mexico, where he played basketball and baseball. But despite looking like a prototype defensive end, never played football. In fact, says, I don't like football. I don't watch it on TV.
He's smart.
Well, I don't know about the not watching it on TV part.
No.
But he says just not in his DNA. And Neese walks him to start the second inning. You have to imagine that the high school football coach had to be after him to play, right?
Sure.
You get a specimen like that. But no, Kyle wasn't interested. So the Mets have the leadoff man on. The Padres have the leadoff man on. And now Aaron Cunningham, the batter.
All right, we're going to take a look at David there at third, and we're going to see how he prepares himself with the pitch. I used to always take a couple steps in. I used to do a little bit more. I used to always like to go 1, 2, and then be in a straddled position, and I would come down the balls of my feet as I saw the ball out of the pitcher's hand. So I was ready to go left, right, forward, back with the swing. That was much better there.
Now, what is the point for a young player of coming forward before the pitch?
It's just to gather yourself. You don't want to go back. You coming forward, you're getting more in a position to crouch. You're ready to go. You're like a tiger ready to pounce. That's how I used to always feel when I played the field. I was like a cat ready to pounce on its prey.
So do you want to be on the balls of your feet at the point where the pitch is thrown?
Well, yes, you're got to be on but you can't be on your heels. You got to be on the balls of your feet, and you've got to have a little bit of the weight distribution on the on the arch side of your foot, because you're going to have to push off left or right. So you obviously don't want to have the weight of your body weight on the outside of your feet. You sprain your ankle. You want to be on the inside, much like when you're hitting. So that's your anchor, whatever leg you want to push off for your lateral movement.
Now, what about, especially at a corner infield position, how low do you want to go with your glove in your hands?
Well, I always feel that I always had my glove on the ground, Gare, and facing the hitter, open facing the hitter. When I was holding a runner on, even when I played deep, because it's just you want to keep, don't want to get in bad habits. You just never know. I played a lot more AstroTurf, so a lot of balls got to you quicker. But these infields today are cut very, very short. They're like putting greens. It's very fast infields today, even though they're grass.
3-2 to Cunningham, and he fouls it off.
So you never know. There's that one ball. It's a bullet hit at you, and if you don't have your hands down, it might go through your legs, even if you're playing back. So that for me, if I'm talking to kids out there, you kids, even if you're middle infielders and you're playing back, go down with that glove in the position to field, facing the hitter.
And David snags the ground ball, gets the out at second. Turner's relay not in time. Big Kyle Blanks came in hard on Turner at second base.
Watch David's wasted motion here. This is a bullet, and they don't turn two. We've seen it all year. You've got to turn two in that. That's a two-hop shot, and you can't turn two.
Took 4 steps before he released that ball.
You've got to turn two there.
But he was ready for it.
He was ready.
With that knee-high glove.
Yep.
So Cunningham at first. Now Alberto Gonzalez the batter. Gonzalez playing shortstop today. Jason Bartlett getting a day off.
I don't think I've ever seen a team have such difficulty turning a double play.
Ripped down the left field line, and Gonzalez has an extra base hit. Cunningham heads to third. Bay does a nice job playing the carom. And Cunningham will have to hold at third. A double for Alberto Gonzalez, just his 9th extra base hit of the year. So the Mets' inability to turn the double play puts them in jeopardy.
Well, turns on this pitch right down the line. Full extension. And Bay does play this ball nicely off the wall. And there's nothing to fault on Turner there. He's getting the ball. He can't throw the ball until he gets it. But David really just took too much time setting up to throw. And that's footwork, and that's quickness in your feet to be able to reset yourself after you've caught a ground ball, to reset quickly and throw with no wasted motion. And David was just too long with that. Too much time.
So James Darnell with a chance for his first big league RBI. Infield back with second and third and 1 out. A ball and a strike to Darnell, who made his first major league start 2 nights ago and then picked up his first base hit against Bobby Parnell in the 9th inning last night. A couple of hard hit balls against Nice after a leadoff walk here in the second. And he gets a hit on Darnell, 1-2. Darnell hit 23 home runs in the minor leagues this year, drove in 75. Luis Martinez on deck. Darnell started the year in Double-A at San Antonio, then moved up to Triple-A at Tucson. So he's got some pop. Nice needing a strikeout. And Darnell with a defensive cut fouls it off. Talk baseball with SNY's Bobby Ojeda during the 3rd inning of today's game. Nice to see we're keeping Bobby busy. Just go to SNY.TV, click on the link, and join the conversation. It's Chat Live with Bob Ojeda, presented by Verizon, only on SNY.TV. It'll be an interesting conversation. Here's the 1-2, and Darnell fouls another one back. Must have been a nice play made up above us.
That made the upper tank?
Up in the promenade. Do you think there's ever a chance we'll ever get a foul ball in this booth?
It would be tough, huh, with the overhang?
Well, you got the overhang, you got the screen. It would have to be perfectly placed. There we are. That's Al, our cameraman, spreading his arms to say hi. Swing and a miss, and Nice gets the strikeout he needs. Takes care of Darnell for the second out.
The big curveball. That's a big weapon for Jonathan. It's a big breaker.
So 2 out, runners second and third. The number 8 hitter, Luis Martinez, who has swung the bat very well in this series. The Mets are going to pitch to him. And the curveball in for a strike. Martinez 3 for 6 with a couple of RBIs. making just his 10th major league start today, but he's been impressive. This whole San Diego lineup has swung the bat well this last week. 56 runs in their last 6 games. And Nice gets ahead on Martinez, 0-2. Pitcher Lubke waiting on deck. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. So Nice escapes from second inning trouble with back-to-back strikeouts of Darnell and Martinez and keeps it a scoreless game in the middle of the second. Mets at twitter.com/Mets and facebook.com/Mets. Join the conversation. Add your voice to the Mets social media community today. Nick Evans leads off the home second inning. Nick's had a couple of nice pinch hit at bats the last 2 nights. Sacrifice fly in the Mets comeback on Tuesday, and then an RBI double in the game last night. Getting the start in right field today. Just the 8th start he's made for the Mets this year.
This Lubke's got a very nice cutter, and he throws hard. I like what I see. He's got a chance to be something special.
Swing and a miss as he gets Evans with the slider. That's his 3rd strikeout. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Brooklyn Burger, the premium steakhouse burger and the official burger of the New York Mets. And be sure to visit Keith's Grill at Citi Field, located on the field level behind section 132, to enjoy Keith Hernandez's favorite Brooklyn burgers. Oh, look at that.
Oh, great.
Oh, our friend Javier has made it here with some Keith's Grill burgers. That's outstanding.
This is Javier. He's the one that designed the Mex burger. I can't take credit for him. It was his concoction.
And you see, these are beautiful.
You know what makes that Gold Glove burger?
What?
More ketchup.
Oh, the Gold Glove burger makes more. That's right, the ketchup. You know, I like it on my hot dog too.
You know, you were not a mustard kind of player.
Right.
You didn't play with mustard.
Why don't you pull
were
up
definitely
a chair?
a ketchup guy.
Pull up a chair and join us. Let's have lunch.
That's perfect.
Great. Yes.
I mean, this is where Ralph is going to be sitting fairly soon. So, you know, Ralph likes to eat too. So make sure you save one for him.
So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 burgers here. Are there 4 different ones or just the all 2 and 2? Beautiful.
3-2 to Polino. I love the Mex burger. That's outstanding with the jalapenos and the guacamole.
Mr. Hernandez was talking about his favorite burger. I was like, that's what I put on my burger. That's what I put on my burger.
We're going to put you on the mic here because people want to hear what you got to say, Javier.
3-2, and Polino pokes one foul.
They're tired of hearing our voices. They want to.
Now, you know, Javier Delgado has been here. How many years have you been here?
It's my sixth season.
You have created some wonderful gastronomic sensations since you've been here, but this may be the top of your career. Line to right, and over comes Cunningham to get it. 2 out.
I can't take all the credit. We have a great culinary team led by our executive chef, Robert Flowers. And, I mean, from sweets all the way down, I can't take the credit for all of this. You know, it's a team effort, just like on the field. We work very hard to try and develop new and exciting things all the time. And the Gold Glove Burger is 100% Mr. Keith Hernandez. I can't take credit
So
for that.
that's teamwork here, the two of you.
Absolutely.
I'm actually looking forward to the third out in this inning so I can wolf one of these burgers down.
You know, you haven't always waited for the third out to consume some comestibles like these.
I'm drooling.
Now we've had people in the truck asking
for no Phil down in audio.
Yeah, well,
we can take care of them. It's not a problem.
So how's business at Keith's Grill? You have any idea?
It's doing very well. We actually had a great night last night. It's taking off. It's doing exactly what we expected.
Good.
We just, hopefully be able to expand on it.
Just no more of those hamburger eating contests. That was hard to watch.
Yeah, I have
you don't take credit for that, do you?
No, definitely not. I mean, we cook them off for them, and we like to see the people having fun. But
I was offended when the guy that won, he was dunking in the water. He was ruining a perfect burger.
Absolutely, and I don't know how they can do it. I really don't know how they can do it.
Let me ask you this, Javier. What is the one most popular food item in the ballpark?
That would have to be French fries and hot dogs that go back and forth.
Really?
Overall, French fries and hot dogs. Absolutely.
Wow.
Even though we have all these different eclectic choices throughout the ballpark, the number one seller is still a hot dog. People want their hot dog, they want their French fries, and they want their cold beer.
They hot on with a 2-out walk. Second walk given up by Lutke. Now you've got your specialty booths, but you also have your regular concessions. How does that all work?
Well, as you know, we have partnerships with Union Square Hospitality Group. They have some great concepts, but we also develop some unique stands. Like, for instance, right next to Keith's Grill, we also have our New York deli concept with hot pastrami that I would rank right up there with Katz's Deli. They may not think so, but I do. And we try and, like I said, every season we try and develop new and exciting things.
Does a Tootsie Pop come with every Keith burger?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Wouldn't be complete.
So I gave you your favorite color.
You gave me the purple. But you were very nice.
I remember. We got to keep you happy, Gary. You get ornery late in the season.
Trying to turn it on you.
I'm very happy. Have you ever seen me not smile?
What's your favorite food, Gary?
In the ballpark?
Yeah.
I've got a lot. I always head out to Box Frites because I love their fries.
Right.
I always go to Mama's because I love their sandwiches.
Right.
These burgers are fantastic. I like these a lot.
That actually is my favorite. And on the way up here on the elevator, we had a couple of guests in there, and they're like, can we have one of those burgers? We're like, I'm sorry, those are for the booth. And they actually said that they've had them before, and they love them. So it's a good thing.
By the way, as Javier and I are sitting here talking, Keith is beginning to dig in. So
I had a
2-2 to John Neese. The breaking ball misses. So here we have a noon game today, Javier. We were talking about yesterday about how we prepare for the game. How early do you guys start preparing food for an early day game?
Our main commissary starts up at about 6 a.m. And
for a night game.
Either a night game or a day game. It's a little bit more pressure for a day game because, obviously we're starting.
Well, Javier, thanks for stopping by, and definitely thanks for bringing the burgers.
My pleasure.
See you, Javier.
Thank you very much. Enjoy.
See you. Thanks for feeding us. It's nothing more important than feeding folks,
Hasta luego.
Got himself out of a big-time jam in the second inning, second and third and one out. He got a couple of strikeouts to get him through. I was talking with Terry Collins today, and I said, do you really miss having an ace who can give you a shutdown game? And he said, there are 29 managers who want that, and then there's Charlie Manuel who gets it every day.
How about that? He does.
Let's see what Neese can do this afternoon. Corey Lupke takes high and away for ball one, and Ralph Kiner joins us in the booth. How are you, Ralph? This is twice in 1 week. This is a real treat.
That's really a long streak, isn't it? I don't know what to do. I would know one thing. You guys are into those hamburgers. Pretty good.
They are very good, Ralph.
Now, Keith put his name on these burgers. You ever had food named after you, Ralph?
Not that I know of. I've had a horse named after me, but not any horse meat.
Did he win?
Never won a race. Figures. I play for the Pirates.
Oh. So the stable could have finished first without the horse. What I mean was it was named Ralph Kiner? Was that the horse's name?
Actually, Sir Ralph.
Sir Ralph.
And John Galbraith, who owned the Pirates, named the horse after me. They named the horse after Clemente, and then won all his races.
Different era in Pirates history. Slow ground ball for Tejada to handle. And a high throw, and Duda can't make the tag on Lupke. Well, that was a very nonchalant play by Ruben Tejada, and it cost him.
You know, when a ball player eases up to get a easy ground ball over to first base with an easy throw, it's not an easy play. Look at this. That's a terrible throw. And Tejada, of course, is supposed to be one of the outstanding fielders in the Minnesota organization.
Well, we saw him make a tremendous play last night, going in the hole, making a tremendous jump throw. But, you know, it's that play-to-play consistency that you're looking for from your shortstop.
I think the best thing is just fire it away and let it go, because that's your natural throw you want to make all the time. And you have better control when you let it go.
Cameron Maben bluffs a bunt.
I don't know if you saw this play last night, Ralph. Right here, watching the hole here, this play. The throw that was quite a play.
That was a good play because he had to go in the air to make the throw and stop his momentum going away from the bag.
And he got rid of it so quickly.
Yep. And the easy part of that play was catching the ground ball. The tough part was after he caught it.
Now, if you talk about throwing hard, that was the Sean Dunston theory. He believed in throwing as hard as he could every play.
And his first baseman, Grace, was the guy that had to catch that ball no matter where he was, right on top of him or deep in the hole.
Gary Templeton was the same way in St. Louis when he came up with me. He just had the greatest arm of a shortstop I ever played with. And, boy, I tell you what, he'd break in a glove in a heartbeat in spring training.
You ever put a pad in your first baseman's glove?
No, I always kept my index finger out, though. I didn't have my index finger in my glove. For precisely the bone bruise, you can get the bone bruise on that first finger.
You know, one of the great lines was by Whitey Herzog. It said Dunston was drafted ahead of Dwight Gooden. And he said, well, he should have been ahead of Dwight Gooden. He had a better arm than Gooden.
Little flare, and Duda has it, and Lupke gets back to the bag. One away. Let's look at that play again from last night on the Coors Light freeze cam. Look how high he was in the air.
That's what you call a really good picture of ability of what a ball player has to go through.
And the strength of the arm to get it there, that was almost like a ballet move there. Jeez, it was.
One of the great arms of baseball was by Hall of Famer Louis Aparicio. Most of the guys that played in his era thought he had the best arm of any shortstop of all time. You really can't compare eras.
Played for the White Sox and the Orioles. What I remember about Aparicio, though, Ralph, correct me if I'm wrong, he would hold the ball and throw guys out by half a step.
Yeah, I always timed it out there. You're out by half a step, which is psychologically ruining your confidence.
Two 2-0 to Logan Forsythe. Duda playing behind the pitcher, running at first. And there's a strike. Let's check in with Eamon McEnany. Eamon?
Well, guys, to elaborate on that play by Ruben Tejada last night, I asked David Wright about it last night in the postgame, and he said what impressed him the most was the velocity, the arm. He says normally you see guys make that play, but you don't see them throw the guy out at first by 10 feet. So the velocity he was able to put on that throw while getting up in the air to have to make it really impressed his counterpart at third base.
I'm sure it shocked Luis Martinez, the guy who hit the ball, and was out by 15 feet, too. 2-2 to Forsythe, who hit a hard ground ball to David Wright, who snagged it his first time up.
Ralph, there's that curveball from Nice, and you and I had a chat before the game, and you love his curveball. I think you should throw it more.
He should throw it a lot more. He's got a real great curveball, and the curveball is one of the hard pitches to hit. And of course, many players said, "I'm coming home because I have to look for a job." They started throwing curveballs.
Is it possible for a pitcher to throw his curveball too much?
I don't think so.
From a hitter's standpoint.
I'll tell you what Johnny Sain was a great pitcher, no doubt about it. Threw a curveball about 99% of the time. In other words, he threw about 4 or 5 fastballs a ball game. He broke every pitch.
Check swing, and it's a little high. 3-2.
Johnny Sain also was a pitcher that pitched, well, I'd say T.I. copied Johnny Sain the way he rotated his body all the way around, because Sain was before T.I. And T.I., of course, an outstanding pitcher.
Nice backhand by Tejada, out at second. Turner turns it over, and this time the Mets get the double play. Beautifully done, 6-4-3. Well, Tejada put everything on this throw. That was the way to do it. Still no score at Citi Field. question: which former Mets manager caught Sandy Koufax's perfect game and Nolan Ryan's first no-hitter?
I know that.
So do I. Trying to think. I was trying to go through my Rolodex in my brain and think of how many Met managers have been catchers.
Wasn't for very long.
There are at least 2. Trying to think if there were more than 2. Oh, no, 3 actually. Mets will have the top of the batting order coming up in the bottom of the 3rd. Against Corey Lupke, who's been very impressive, struck out 4 over the first 2 innings. Well, the dollar that fell out of the stands is still on the warning track behind Kyle Blanks, and he has not gone to pick it up.
Now let's go back to the catchers that were managers. What about Gil Hodges?
Well, he wasn't a catcher, was he?
He sure was.
Really?
He started out as a catcher. Joe Bacher, of course, never managed, but he was a pitching coach for the New York Mets.
Popped up, shallow right field, and Aaron Cunningham is under it, 1 away.
I want to say that Art Howe caught a few times. I know it was third base, but I think it was an emergency.
I want to
catcher.
go back to Gil Hodges. When did Gil catch? Because
he started out his career as a catcher.
Really?
Came in a catcher, moved into third base, and went to first.
Wow. Well, he was certainly an awfully good first baseman.
He was a great first baseman. For a right-handed first baseman, he was maybe the best. Be hard to say, but he was certainly outstanding right-handed first baseman. He also invented the neighborhood play. He was in the neighborhood of first base, but he caught a ball at first.
You mean cheating off the bag?
Cheating is a bad word.
Well, Keith talks about it all the time, how first basemen should cheat off the
first
bag.
base. Well, all the first basemen cheat. They try to time it so your foot is coming off the bag as they catch the ball.
And you want to make it as smooth as possible. Ron Fairley taught me how to cheat when he came over towards the end of his career to the Cardinals, and also taught me how to break in my first baseman's glove. I learned from Ron a lot of things.
Now, Ralph just said he thought Gil Hodges was as good a right-handed first baseman as he'd ever seen. Do you have a guy, a right-hand throwing first baseman who you liked over?
Well, my dad liked us to watch when the Cardinals came to town. He liked us to watch Bill White around the bag. Now, you know, Bill laughs when I tell him that. But, you know, Bill certainly wasn't.
Turner getting hit by another pitch
again.
This is, I think it's the 9th time now he's been hit. He's like a magnet.
I think he might be in double digits now, Gary. I'll take a quick peek.
Right on the top of that foot.
The one thing about Turner, he doesn't know how to get out of the way of the ball. Look at this. Of course, it's pretty hard to pick both feet up at the same time.
You don't expect to get hit on the back foot.
You're right, Gary. His 9th hit by pitch.
I'll tell you who I was like watching among right-hand throwing first baseman was Andres Galarraga.
He was smooth. Very good fielder, no question.
I'll take it back a generation before, maybe 2. Babe Dahlgren, who took Lou Gehrig's place at first base, was a really good right-handed first baseman.
Here's David Wright, who flied to center his first time up. But it's still a left-hand thrower's position.
It sure is an advantage to be a left-hand thrower, especially coming off the bag on the pickoff.
There goes Turner. The pitch outside. Martinez's throw. Close, but not in time. And Turner has the stolen base, his 7th of the year.
Well, that's the old Deke right there. But if you get hit in the foot, you limp to first base. And he just took a chance there and took off from the belt. No chance to throw him out.
One of the best in the world at doing that was Jackie Robinson. He'd go down to first base. He'd think he needed a wheelchair to get down there. And he would then go to second. But he was a great stolen base runner anyway. It didn't make any difference what he did.
3-0 now to Wright.
I'd give him a hit sign here.
Absolutely.
David doesn't have the great numbers against the lefties this year.
He sure as heck did before this year.
Mm-hmm.
He had.
They did. Big rip.
Yeah, a great average against left-hand pitching. 348, 49 home runs. Four this year.
2 years ago in 2009, he had 416 against lefties. This year, just 227.
He's had one home run this year, which is certainly under his norm.
Well, it's been a year interrupted for David.
I remember he got hurt in the middle of April, played for a month with a fracture in his back, so his overall numbers were pretty shoddy until he came back from the disabled list, then had that big road trip. Hasn't had quite the same success on the homestand. But then again, the Mets as a team haven't been quite successful in this ballpark.
They have been a very, very streaky team.
The Mets are going to have a losing homestand. They're 3-5 with today the final game. They've only had one winning homestand all year.
They have not played well at home.
3-2 from Lupke, and it's outside. So third walk given up by Lupke, who's also hit a batter. And so the Mets have 2 on for Jason Bay.
The one thing about the Mets is they're talking about the media. They're talking about the size of this ballpark. And there are a lot of short indications in this ballpark. 371 to Strickaway left field. That's very close. Down the line, of course, it's very close. Close enough. There's your 371 marker.
You get into the gaps, Ralph, it gets big. 384 in left center field. That's a large gap.
And, of course, the height of the wall in left field, 16 feet high.
Let me throw this one at you. 408 feet to left center field in Forbes Field.
Oh, of course.
But that's when men were men, Ralph.
Wow, that was a big ballpark.
That's when they used regular bats.
You'd be out of your mind to try to go dead central in Forbes Field.
415 is not even close to the longest. It was 483 in the Polo Grounds. 483.
Two guys hit home runs.
Field.
2 guys hit home runs center fields in the Polo Grounds.
Only 2?
Yep.
I thought it was 3.
3? Okay, I know 1. I played with him.
One was Lou Brock.
Lou got
one thing, I'll tell you
I think Aaron did it.
Another was Hank Lieber. Yankee Stadium was 460, I think, 7 feet to the center field.
With the monuments on the field.
And the monuments were on the field. Well, they put the batting cage in center field in Pittsburgh. It was on the playing field.
But you got to admit, Ralph, that a bit unfair.
Well, depends what you are, pitcher or an outfielder.
0-2 to Bay, and he goes down swinging.
Pitchers love it.
It's 5 strikeouts now for Lupke.
Oh, I like this kid's stuff. Got a hard thrower, and a good hard slider.
Yeah, well, I call it a curveball because it's very good. It breaks about a foot and a half.
Yeah, it breaks down too.
Very sharp.
So 2 out and 2 on for Lucas Duda. Duda struck out his first time up.
Oh, he's pounding Duda inside. And Ralph, we're talking about Duda and his progress. He's done quite well. Just needs to, I think the next step for him is, I think he'll learn to become a pull hitter. He's a little bit tardy on the fastball. He's so strong. You want him to get that barrel through and almost become a pull hitter, don't you think?
Yeah, I think he can learn to pull hit. There's no doubt about that. And, of course, it's not really a big advantage to be a pull hitter in this ballpark in right field because you have that indentation out in straightaway right field. But I think you're right. I think all your really good hitters can start out as opposite field hitters. Stan Musial is certainly one of the examples. He became a pull hitter and had 39 home runs in 1948. And you take advantage of the shorter part of the park when you can pull the ball down the line in almost every park in baseball.
1-2 to Duda, and he fouls it off. Is it just a matter of identifying the pitches that you can pull?
It does make a difference. Or you can stand in the batter's box and take advantage of pitches that are inside. You can make a pitcher pitch you a certain way if you do the right things in the batter's box. Stand on top of the plate, you're going to make the pitcher pitch inside. Because you can reach the outside pitch and hit it hard.
Lupke goes low and away, and it's 2-2.
The size of Duda is certainly hit to his advantage.
Well, we've seen him hit some bombs already, so he's certainly got the power. 2-2, and he bounces that one foul. Well, Lupke has struck out 5, walked 3 over the first 2 2/3, and as a consequence, he's about to throw his 70th pitch. So he's in a scoreless game, but he has had to expend a lot of effort.
He started his career as a relief pitcher and then came into the starting role. Left-hand batters have not hit a home run off of him.
Duda just pulls it foul. Lupke, a proud Buckeye from Ohio State. In fact, both pitchers today from the state of Ohio. John Neese, of course, from Defiance, Ohio, drafted out of high school.
Well, the Buckeyes of Ohio in deep trouble. Another team in trouble, the Chargers from San Diego. They might move back to L.A. They came from L.A.
Duda drives one deep to right. Cunningham going back, and it's over his head. Up against the wall. Turner's in with the game's first run. Wright coming home. He'll score without a throw. Lucas Duda with a 2-run double off the lefty, and it's 2-0 New York.
Well, that's one pitch that we didn't jinx the pitcher on, talking about his power and whether or not he can pull a ball. He certainly pulled this one.
Well, that's an impressive at bat right there. He threw him a hard fastball inside that he pulled foul with 2 strikes, Gare, and then came back with a slider and hits a bullet. So that's all a good sign. Duda does stay in on left-handers. That's what I love about him against lefties.
So Duda left in against the left-hander, pays off. Now Nick Evans swings and misses.
Oh, after a fastball in, 93 mile an hour, throws a slider and leaves too much out over the plate. But look, he let go with one hand and hits a short hop off the right center field wall.
And unfortunately did not bounce out of play, otherwise it would have cost the Mets a run.
And the cutout man lost the play at the plate by not knowing where the runner was rounding third base. He should have thrown home. He might have had the runner at home, but he threw to the wrong base after he had looked that way before looking at home.
Evans struck out his first time up, and he fouls one back.
There was a good shot at the 2-base hit into right center field. Now the runner at third base is coming to third, and right here you see the cutout man, the second baseman, look to third base and not to home to find out whether he has a chance there.
Well, the second baseman's got to get help from the trailer, and that is the shortstop who was late getting over to tell him where to throw.
Lupke strikes out Evans at 6 strikeouts in 3 innings, but Lucas Duda puts the Mets on top. A 2-out, 2-run double over the head of Cunningham in right field, and it takes John Neese to a 2-0 lead after 3. Jesus Guzman leads off in the 4th inning for San Diego. John Neese pitching with the lead for the first time today. Guzman fly to center his first time up. But boy, has he had an impressive series.
He's hit the ball hard the whole series. This is in the first 3 games and all over the field, too. He's used both gaps.
One thing about him, he spent a lot of time in the minor leagues.
He's in the Oakland organization, then got a cup of coffee with the Giants. But nobody had any place to play him. Came up as a third baseman originally. They moved him to first. He's not a great first baseman, but he can hit.
11 straight games, and he's batted .413.
Rolls one out to Turner, and Guzman retired, one away. Let's answer our AT&T trivia question. We asked which former Mets manager caught Koufax's perfect game and Ryan's first no-hitter, and of course that was Jeff Torborg.
Yes. Backup catcher for the Dodgers.
Behind Johnny Roseboro.
Correct.
And then was with the Angels when Ryan first won over. Jeff managed the Mets in 1992 and 1993. So I'm trying to think. Yogi Berra was a catcher, obviously, managed the Mets. Wes Westrum was a catcher also, right, Ralph?
Yes.
Yes, he was. And a good one.
Am I missing anybody?
Well,
because usually there are a lot of former catchers who are managers.
Well, Ralph said Gill.
Hairston's got it too. Yeah, but Gill was primarily a first baseman.
Yeah, you're right. And you think of him as a first baseman.
Oh, I forgot Joe Torre. Because, of course, Joe started out as a
yes. Torre. How can we forget Joe?
He was a catcher and then a third baseman.
Then a first baseman.
And a first baseman.
And won a batting championship as a third baseman, right?
Yes.
At 363, I think they won that batting championship.
Yes, drove in 120-something runs that year for the Cardinals. And I remember I was my first year in A-Ball, and I called Dad and said, Dad, how am I ever going to break in the big leagues with Torre playing first base?
And, for Joe to hit 363, I mean, he didn't get any infield
run.
hits.
That's right, he couldn't run.
I mean, you saw Ernie Lombardi play. Now,
oh, no comparison.
He wasn't as slow as Lombardi.
No, Lombardi would be slower than anyone. Well, in two pregnant races, he'd finish last in that.
Cunningham flies out. So Neese, after getting the lead, has himself a quick 1-2-3 inning. And the Mets lead at 2-0 in the 4th. colorful, detailed scorecard for every Mets game. And now Keith Hernandez is giving one away. Just like us at Facebook.com/SNY, and you could win an autographed Keith Hernandez scorecard from the last Subway Series. Ralph, I'm sure you're bidding on this. Enter exclusively at Facebook.com/SNY for your chance to win.
That's the first time I've heard that a guy keeps a colored scorecard.
I do, Ralph. See?
I know. I see the colors. Purple. There's orange, yellow, and what else? Pink.
Yeah,
pink.
pink.
I guess. Yeah.
Chartreuse, whatever.
Got to have a lot of pens or pencils.
It's like a Timothy Leary dream. Backhanded by Logan Forsythe, and Polino retired for the first out in the fourth.
You know, we were talking about the Chargers in San Diego losing a team. We'd be remiss not to bring up the fact that Jack Murphy, Bob Murphy's brother, was the sports editor of the San Diego Union, and he was the guy that got the Chargers to move from L.A. down to San Diego and make San Diego a big team location. And now they're talking about moving the Padres back to L.A. So Jack Murphy, the brother of Bob Murphy, and Jack Murphy Stadium was built and named after Jack Murphy because he moved the football team down to San Diego.
Jack also had something to do with the Padres getting a franchise, didn't he?
Well, the Padres got a franchise when C. Arnold Smith, who owned the Padres in the minor leagues, got the Major League okay.
Of course, the Padres came into the league in 1969 along with the Montreal Expos as National League expansion teams.
And C. Arnold Smith sold the team and got out of baseball.
Sold it to Ray Kroc.
Ray Kroc, of course, was hammer man, like Jack, like our friend
Keith,
Keith Hernandez.
Well, let's see. The
Hamburger
difference
has
was
a new start.
Ray Kroc sold billions and billions.
Oh boy, Keith's on his way.
He sold dozens.
I'm entrepreneurial.
There you go. Tejada grounds out for the second out. Yeah, but Ray Kroc, when he sold his hamburgers, never had Tootsie Pops with the burger.
See, Ray didn't have that vision like I have.
Well, you're expanding on his abilities.
No. He created the golden arches. You're just going for the gold. John Nee struck out his first time up.
Ray Kroc was the man that kept the Padres in San Diego. That was one of the big things he was noted for. Speaking of San Diego and the Padres, Dick Enberg is broadcasting the game here today. Dick Enberg, one of the great announcers of our time.
He has been the TV guy for the Padres. He's gotten back in baseball. He's very excited, very happy to be back in baseball on a daily basis.
He's a baseball man from the very beginning. Did the Angel games with Don Drysdale for many years, 11 years. And then there is Dick Enberg right there. Of course, you see him doing Wimbledon tennis.
And then there was his greatest broadcasting coup, hosting Sports Challenge back in the 70s. Remember that show?
Yes, I do.
With guys with their 70s attire. Go watch some replays. Knock your eyes out. Everybody looks like Lindsey Nelson on that show. 7 strikeouts. SNY Mets broadcast team. You and a guest could have dinner with us, then catch the game in an SNY suite at Citi Field on Thursday, September 1st. Plus, you'll be featured in a segment on Mets Weekly. All proceeds benefit the high school basketball team scheduled to play in the 2012 SNY Invitational. Just go to sny.tv/charity auction and bid today.
How did Ralph get out of that? Ralph's part of the team. Ralph,
well, he's invited.
Invitations in the mail, I guess, huh?
Well, Keith, I hope you'll be serving your burgers that night.
I'm hopeful. I'm working on it.
Alberto Gonzalez leading off in the 5th inning. He doubled down the left field line his first time up. That's been the only hit against Nice so far this afternoon. This game taking on some undertones like the game Nice pitched against the Padres last year.
Not a bad game, huh?
When he gave up an early double and nothing else.
The only hit in that game was in, I believe, the 3rd inning, wasn't it?
Yep. Kristen Orphy had doubled in that game, and then Nice retired the next 21. Line the other way, and Gonzalez has his second hit of the game.
But like the New York Mets, San Diego has never had a no-hit game pitched.
High fastball, and that's where Nice gets in trouble. He's okay when he gets it out of the strike zone, but when he gets it in there, nice swing in that high pitch there.
Ralph, we were talking earlier about players who hit the ball into the center field seats at the Polo Grounds. The third guy, I believe, was Joe Adcock.
Well, there's a fourth guy. The color catcher for the I forgot what team.
Josh Gibson.
Yeah. Gibson did hit it. We won the center bleachers. Yes.
Joe Adcock had tremendous power, didn't he?
Yeah, he hit 4 home runs in one game and missed the 5 home runs when he
wants the fastball up and in.
When he was hit by a pitch. Adcock playing first base for the Milwaukee Braves at the time.
1-2 to Darnell, and it's taken low, 2-2. Darnell struck out his first time up. Under Nice's glove, he lets it go, and Tejada and Turner turn the double play. Nicely done. The Mets' second double play of the afternoon.
Well, the Mets have no problem up the middle, turning 2. Second one from Tejada and Turner. Beautifully done.
Good strong play by the second baseman Turner. He stays right there and is able to get a good throw off.
And that's got to be the hardest one for a second baseman when his back is completely turned to the runner.
That's when it's dangerous.
Luis Martinez struck out his first time up.
These are the saddest of possible words. Tinker to Evers to chance. Actually, it's Evers.
Nope. There's the double play again, and Turner is back exposed. Now we see his back foot set to get him squarely in position to throw. He's got guts. Turner hangs in there. We've seen it all year. He's fearless.
He not only is a good double play man and stays in there, hangs in there, he also gets hit a lot.
He does. He's one of those scrappy guys.
A latter-day Ron Hunt.
Ron Hunt with 50 times he was hit by a pitch ball in one season. But one thing about him, he was trying to get hit to get on base.
Nice has 5 shutout innings under his belt. Halfway through at Citi Field, 2-0 New York. This afternoon, temperature in the low 80s, just a perfect day for a ball game, and the Mets with a 2-0 lead. Scott Hairston starts the third time through the order against Corey Lupke. Lots of day camps in the stands today. Each group wearing their colorful shirts. Forms quite a tableau when you look out at the stands. The former Padre Scott Hairston leads off in the bottom of the fifth. Hairston actually has had 2 tours of duty in San Diego, played there last year, along with his brother Jerry. Both have been well traveled now in their careers. Jerry just got traded at the deadline from Washington to Milwaukee after Ricky Weeks got hurt. He's been playing some second base there.
And the father played in the major leagues.
Jerry, yes.
And the grandfather. So they are one of the few 3-generation families. Sam Hairston, I believe, was the grandfather. And there's ball 4, so Hairston's on, and that's the 4th walk given up by Lupke, who came in averaging just 2.2 walks per 9 innings. And his pitch count now up to 95. He's thrown as many as 110 in a big league start. But it's hard to envision him going much more than 5 innings today. So here's Justin Turner, who's been on base twice with a walk, and he's been hit on the foot by a pitch. He's stolen a base. He's scored a run. Lupke has struck out 7, walked 4, and hit a batter. And he's only faced 19 hitters. That's a lot of balls not put in play. There have been only 5 outs not recorded by a strikeout for Lupke.
Good chance right here. Good opportunity. Hit and run. Try to make something happen. 2-0 game. Middle innings. Get a count in your favor.
And Turner, a good man to hit and run because he hits a lot of balls to right field. And they're looking for the runner going from first to third on the hit and run play.
Hairston got deked.
Padres are also looking for a hit and run play.
That's embarrassing. Scott's going to get that in the clubhouse after the game.
The half dive.
Oh, well, and the pitcher threw home.
If the Mets had a kangaroo court.
Boy, it is a geez, you almost just got back in time.
Out to right center, hit fairly well, but Cunningham has room. Hairston tagging at first, but not going as Cunningham throws a 1-hop strike to second.
That was like in St. Louis, a similar play. Dane Orge was playing right field. You're playing the Pirates at Busch Stadium. Willie Stargell hit one around 8 rows upper deck in St. Louis. Dane ran back to the fence and leaped to try to catch it. When he came in the dugout, we all said, "Poor Dane, just almost got it."
Well, that's what Mike Shannon did in the '64 series. Mickey Mantle hit one of the upper deck, and Shannon goes back to that low fence in the old Yankee Stadium and is jumping. And the story was they asked Shannon, after the game, what were you doing? He said, "Oh, you never know." David Wright has himself a base hit. So David's on base for the second time today. Walked and scored on the third, and now a solid single to left.
One of the crazies is look at Wright hit a fastball right down the middle to hard to left field. Right here, a beautiful swing by David Wright. Everything is in line.
And with that base hit, David now has sole possession of the Mets' total base record, 2,048 career total bases. Knocking Ed Kranepool out of that line in the record book.
Kranepool was knocked out of doubles the other day, wasn't he?
David has that record as well. Jason Bay takes a strike.
Kranepool has almost all the records of longevity in the record book.
Other than the home run record, Strawberry has that. But David will probably run him down another year or two.
And Kranepool, of course, was in James Monroe High School and broke Hank Greenberg's record of home runs for a career in high school.
So congratulations to David as he continues to forge a spectacular Mets career. A ball and 2 strikes to Bay, who had a bloop single in the first and then went down swinging at a high fastball in the third. Mets trying to add to their 2-0 lead. Hairston at second and Wright at first with 1 out. You see the rest of that list. Mets haven't had a lot of star players spend their entire career as Mets. You know, and that's what Wright and perhaps Reyes hope to do. Bay gets under one to shallow center. And Maben comes in to get it. 2 out. You know, the Padres are a younger franchise than the Mets, but you know they had their iconic guy in Tony Gwynn, who played his entire career in San Diego.
And David Winfield eventually got traded there, but he left because of the club's having financial problems. They kind of unloaded his salary, but Winfield probably should have played his entire career there. He was there a very long time.
Well, he went to the Yankees, and that was really wasn't that good for him.
He was a heck of a player, though, wasn't he, Ralph?
He sure was. Drafted in 4 sports.
Lucas Duda has accounted for the only 2 runs in this game. He drove a double over the head of Cunningham in right field to drive in a pair in the 3rd. Mets have had only 3 hits. And a check swing grinder to 3rd. Booted! Darnell couldn't handle it, and the bases are loaded. Taylor made ground ball out. But as was the case in the 9th inning last night when the Padres couldn't seal the deal, the inning is prolonged.
Bill bad hop there. Check swing. He stayed inside, tied up Duda. That ball came up.
So the error on Darnell loads up the bases and gives Nick Evans a crack. Evans has been up twice today and struck out both times against Lupke. Lupke now up to 103 pitches. And Evans up with the bases loaded. Ball 1. Hairston now at 3rd, Wright at 2nd, and Duda at 1st with 2 down. A ball and a strike to Evans.
Keith, I thought the umpires had to make you stop in the pitching mound.
Oh, for the belt?
Yeah.
On the stretch? You're supposed to.
No, they didn't do it on that pitch.
If Bob Davidson was in the house, he would have signaled ball.
Phil Niekro is one of those guys that never stopped. It's supposed to pause at a split second.
He never stopped there.
No, he kind of bounced off the belt.
Mm-hmm.
Guzman can't get to it, as that landed in Mike Pelfrey's hat.
Yes, it did. Nice catch.
That was quite a play by Mike.
It sure was.
A lot of people try to catch balls with their hats, but very few are successful.
You got to have strong hands. Hang on to that hat.
You give him an error on the play if he missed.
Charge the air to the hat. 1-2 to Evans. And Nick takes a call, 3rd strike.
Boy, oh boy.
Slider got him. 3rd time Evans has struck out today, and this time he leaves him loaded. 8 strikeouts for Corey Lupke. 2-0 New York after 5. strikes to end the bottom of the fifth, and Nick walked away silently, but I'm not sure whether the home plate umpire Vic Carapazza might have heard something from the dugout, because Terry Collins popped out and appeared very agitated. Yeah, he threw somebody out. I'm not quite sure who.
Well, Carapazza's got to get rid of the rabbit ears.
I mean, that came from a long way away. Somebody from the far end of the dugout.
He just said, "Not you," to Evans, pointing to someone else.
Yep.
You got rabbit ears.
Blake Teacotty is batting for Corey Lupke, leading off in the 6th inning.
We used to tell those umpires when they would pay attention to the ball game. You're missing a good game. Tough enough time calling balls and strikes.
Teacotty 0 for 3 in this series, and Nice gets the count even. So we'll try and find out who was ejected. The way he was pointing toward the far end of the dugout, it makes me think it was a player who was not in the game rather than a coach who got ejected. Call strike to Teacotty, 1-2.
Rabbit ears.
And the curveball struck him out. So John Nice has his 4th strikeout as he takes care of the pinch hitter Teacotty, 1 away.
Well, Nice is in a groove, and he was overdue. He snuck 2 wins in a row, Garrett. You mentioned it earlier. Giving up 5 runs and got a W. Oh, look at Mr. P.
Ronnie is socializing. He's off today.
He's in. That must be the SNY booth. He's hobnobbing with the VIPs. Oh, upper crust.
You know, that's where the sales guys hang out. They love that SNY suite.
Elitism.
It's a strike to Cameron Maben. Maben has been up twice. Hit a broken back grounder back to the mound and a little flare to first base. He hooks this one to deep left. Back goes Bay to the track. It's over his head and it's out of here.
Wow.
Cameron Maben with his 7th home run of the year gets San Diego on the board. It cuts the Met lead to 2-1.
Well, Cameron, Ralph, I have not seen this man swing the bat like this. He didn't do it in Florida when we saw him for 2 years, but this series, he was highly touted, and he has swung a terrific bat.
He had 4 hits against Nice before this game in 15 at-bats. And this ball is hit and high enough to be over that wall and left center field. And Maben coming up with his home run and his 7th home run of the year.
12th home run given up by Nice, so it's now a 2-1 ball game. Logan Forsythe, the batter.
It is the 10th home run given up to right-handers by Jonathan.
Well,
Forsythe is 0 for 2.
I was going to say that strikeout called by the umpire, and the pitch was really anything but borderline. It was low, as a matter of fact.
So the IOTV pitch differential, Nice getting that ball up to Maben. Now he comes back to strike out Forsythe. 2nd strikeout of the inning, 5th of the night. Time to check in with the studio. Chris Carlin is there with a New York State Smokers Quit Line game break. You know, the Royals have been waiting a long time for Alex Gordon to develop. Started out as a 3rd baseman. Now they're playing him in the outfield, and all of a sudden he has really played well for them. The Royals have got a bunch of good young players. A couple of years, they're going to be formidable. Ball and a strike to Jesus Guzman, who's flied out and grounded out 0 for 2. Each team has only 3 hits today, and that just missed to Guzman, 2-1. There's a curveball for a strike, 2-2.
Well, we mentioned in the open that Nice can be going along cruising and then have a big inning, a blowout inning. And as Ronnie mentioned earlier, that is the one hump he has to get over, the big inning.
Slow ground ball, right has to charge, barehanded play in the dirt, but it scoops on by Lucas Duda. And Guzman is safe at first.
It's got to be a base hit. Good play on the pickup by the bare hand. Real good job here. But the throw is low, and Duda unable to come up with a half up.
And it will be a base hit for Guzman. His 7th hit in the series. If he scoops it, he gets him. Guzman now with a 12-game hitting streak. The first Padre rookie to have a 12-game hitting streak since 1993, when Jeff Gardner had a 12-game hitting streak. Gardner at one time played for the Mets. So Guzman continues to put up numbers, although he didn't hit that ball very hard. Blanks hits a lazy fly out to right field, and Evans got that one to end the inning. Padres get on the board. Cameron Maybin with his 7th home run of the year. And the Mets carry a 2-1 lead into the bottom of the 6th. Every Mets game on SNY is available in HD, presented by IOTV. You can listen to all Mets games on Sports Radio 66 WFAN. Mets head to Phoenix, Arizona after the game today. 3 with the first place Diamondbacks over the weekend. Well, that's hard to believe after the team the Mets saw here in April. And then the Mets go to San Diego for 3 before coming home.
It is going to be in the 100 degrees, 101, and the high 103.
Not inside the ballpark, it won't be.
I understand, but during the day.
Ian Kennedy having a tremendous year. Will face Dylan G in the series opener tomorrow. Daniel Hudson, Mike Pelfrey Saturday night. Jason Marquis goes against the Mets on Sunday. Ronnie Polino leads off in the home 6th and takes a strike. The Mets swept 3 games from the Diamondbacks here back in April, and they looked
awful,
inept. On the 13th of May, the Diamondbacks were 15-22. Since then, they are 49-31, and now in first place in the National League West. The Giants have hit the skids. They've lost 10 of their last 13, and the Diamondbacks have taken over the lead.
And what is the status on Beltran's injury?
Well, he's missed the last 3 games with that strained hand and wrist. Polino's 0 for 2, and he hits it sharply, but right at the shortstop Gonzalez. Reads the signature, throws him out, 1 away.
Stayed in front of that ball nice. That ball had a nice little up hop on him, but he had his body in front.
So 1 out. Here's Ruben Tejada, who's walked and grounded to short, 0 for 1.
You know, we haven't talked about the greatest hitter that ever come out of San Diego. And his name was Ted Williams. He went to school in San Diego, born and raised there. certainly the best hitter to ever come out of San Diego. That includes Tony Gwynn.
Yeah, I would think so. I think Tony would say that too. Here's Anthony Bass making his second appearance in this series. Pitched a scoreless inning last night. Of course, you couldn't get two more different hitters than Tony Gwynn and Ted Williams.
I think so. Ted, of course, a power hitter and outstanding hitter. Spent 4.5 years in the service, and so he lost about how many home runs, I don't know, but a lot of them.
Well, he hit, what, 521?
Something close to that.
So you figure he would have been at least 650, maybe more?
I would think so, yeah.
Can you imagine hitting 400 in the course of a full season?
408. He had the last day of the season. I think he got 6 out of 8.
Yes.
In the doubleheader.
Because he was at 3,996 going into the last day, which would have rounded up to 400, but he said, put me in.
Yeah, I didn't say. They said, we can save your 400 season. He said, no way. I'm going to play, and he got 6 hits.
That was 70 years ago. A few people have approached 400 since, including Gwynn, who had 394 in 1994. That was the strike-shortened year. It would have been interesting to see what would have happened if that year had been completed.
George Brett made a run. I forget the year there. George went up hitting 380, I believe, that year. 380-something.
I think he hit 390.
Really?
Yeah. And John Olerud made a run one year with Toronto. He was over 400 early August, I think.
Yes. That's tough.
Three and two now to Tejada. John Neese on deck. Well, last night the Mets got 10 hits from the 7, 8, and 9 spots in their order. Not so much today. There's ball 4, and Tejada's walked for the second time. So Neese comes up with a man on. Well, we talked about the Giants hitting the skids. Here's what the players whom the Mets have traded have done for their contending team since they left. Beltran has not done a whole lot for the Giants, and they've been losing since he got there. On the other hand, K-Rod has been terrific pitching the 8th inning for the Brewers, and they've been winning since he arrived. In fact, the Brewers have won 13 of their last 14. Here's Neese up there to bunt and drops one down. So Neese gets the sacrifice. 1-4, moving Tejada to second. So Scott Harrison will try and get the runner in from second. Scott has struck out, flied out, and walked today, 0 for 2. The other thing about Ted Williams losing those 4.5 years, he had 2,654 hits, so he would have been a lock for 3,000 or well beyond if he had not missed all that time.
He had over 500 home runs. He'd have made a run at Ruth.
Of course, you got to say that Babe Ruth lost 5 years as he pitched 5 years for the Boston Red Sox.
That's right. Let's not forget that.
That's true. It's an excellent point. Nobody ever brings that up.
That's a good point.
Now, he did get bad. I wonder, how many home runs did he have as a pitcher?
I don't know. He hit some. He did play some outfield and maybe even first base. But he didn't. He was never a regular as a player in the game.
And he was a great pitcher.
He was all of that. As a matter of fact, he was 5-0 with the Yankees as a pitcher. He held the record for World Series scoreless innings until Woody Ford broke the record later on, of course, in Ford's career.
Didn't Babe Ruth have 2 World Series wins? I think the year we were with the.
Well, 1918, he was with the Red Sox that year.
Oh, it was the Braves.
Red Sox? No, not for the Braves, no.
He played with the Braves at the end of his career.
At the very end of his career. He had 3 home runs his last 3 at-bats while playing in Forbes Field, and then went back to Boston, and he did not hit another home run. So his last 3 home runs were hit at Forbes Field, and one of them was on the roof the first time any ball was ever hit on the roof.
3 in one game.
3 in one game, yes.
I wonder if he's the only person ever to hit his final 3 home runs in the same game.
I would think he certainly would be. That's very unusual.
Hairston hits one past the mound. And Gonzalez makes the soft toss, and Guzman stays on the bag to end the inning. Well, Ralph, tremendous having you here today. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate being with you, and maybe sometime again in the near future, play again.
Come back to the Ralph Kiner television booth anytime.
Okay, all right.
We'll get you a burger.
Okay, good enough.
Seventh inning, 2-1 New York. Aaron Cunningham leading off against John Neese, and he hits one down the right field line, fading fast, and it drops for a base hit. Evans surrounds it, and Cunningham slides in safely with a leadoff double. And so the tying run is in scoring position with nobody out.
Well, the 5th Padre hit. A little fastball away, not a bad pitch. It went right with it. Cunningham made a nice turn around first base. Really cut the corner sharp.
So Cunningham has his 3rd double of the year, and the Padres are in business. Here's Adrian Gonzalez. Bluffs the bunt, takes a strike.
We'll watch him on his turn here. Really cut that corner sharp.
Gonzalez getting the start at short today is 2 for 2. Drops the bunt down. Neese will have to go to first with it. Ooh. And just gets it to Turner in time. That was a dangerous play. Neese leading Turner to the bag.
Turner a little late getting there. The bunt forces right to vacate. You see Turner getting there late. The Mets going to bring the infield in. I believe they should.
So the tying run at 3rd with 1 out. Gonzalez having a nice day, filling in for Jason Bartlett at short. And now here's James Darnell. He came up with 2nd and 3rd and 1 out in the 2nd, and Neese struck him out. Now he's got another chance, and he bounces the first pitch foul. Darnell looking for his first major league RBI, and Neese in another spot where he could use a strikeout. He struck out 5 today. His only run against him came on a home run by Cameron Maben in the 6th. Chad Qualls up in the Padre pen. And Darnell now behind on the count 0-2. James Darnell playing in just his 3rd major league game. 1 for 8 so far. Today a strikeout and a double play.
Well, Neese had him 0-2 last time when he needed to strike out back in the 2nd.
Molina moves away, And he won't chase that fastball. 1-2.
Struck him out with a curveball, so there's a fastball up in the zone. Let's see if he drops a hammer in the dirt on him.
Here's the 1-2. Popped up. Duda retreating into foul territory. Over the shoulder, he makes the grab. And the runner Cunningham fakes down the line as Duda runs it back in. Nice grab by Duda for the second out.
Over the shoulder catch.
So again, Darnell can't get the run in, and it's left to Luis Martinez. Martinez has been up twice today and struck out both times. Pitcher spot due up next. Nobody's come out on deck at the moment. Flare to the left side, and that'll sneak through for a base hit, and the Padres tie the game. Luis Martinez drives in his third run in this series, and the Padres have gotten even. It's 2-2.
Cutter, and it was a good pitch. He turned on it. Got in on his label, didn't hit it hard. Hard enough. I feel for you.
He made a good pitch. Just not a good result for Nice. And so the Padres have come back to get even. Now Jason Bartlett, who was getting the day off, will come up as a pinch hitter. Bartlett started the first 3 games of this series, 5 for 13 with 5 RBIs in those 3 games. And he takes a strike. In fact, Bartlett has a streak going where he's driven in a run in 7 straight games. So Chad Qualls will be on to pitch for the Padres in the bottom of the 7th. He's had an awful series so far. And the curveball hit sharply. Tejada knocks it down and makes the flip for the force play. Beautifully done on the sit spin by Tejada, and it gets Nice through the 7th inning. But the Padres tied on Martinez's 2-out hit, 2-2 at the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by Capital One Bank's no closing fee refinance. What's in your wallet? By Cholula Hot Sauce. Want the perfect balance of flavor and heat? Add Cholula Hot Sauce to your next meal. Just look for the iconic wooden cap. And people are talking about Hyundai Uncensored. See what they're saying at Hyundai.com. We'll ping pong at Bryant Park. John Nice talking it over with Ronnie Polino after giving up that flare hit to Luis Martinez that tied the game. Now Nice is at 102 pitches, and this is a point where he might normally come out of the game, as Chad Qualls will come on to pitch for the Padres in the bottom of the 7th. But the Mets are shorthanded in their bullpen today. Terry Collins said before the game he wanted to stay away from Bobby Parnell. He wanted to stay away from Pedro Beato. And Manny Acosta went for x-rays on his pinky. Remember 2 nights ago he took a line drive off his pinky, and he's iffy for his availability as well.
So that just leaves you Igarashi, Carrasco, Isringhausen, and Verdak, and you want to, of course, save Isringhausen for a potential save. So really, Nice is giving the Mets what they need today, a strong performance deep into the ballgame.
And if Terry Collins can get 8 innings out of Nice today, he will be very, very happy. Of course, he's going to have to face the top of the batting order in the 8th inning. Meanwhile, the Mets face Qualls, whom they have banged around in this series. Justin Turner leads off, and Qualls misses away for ball 1. Monday night, Qualls came into the 8th inning with a 4-run lead and gave up 2 runs. Mike Baxter hit a run-scoring double against him. Polino got a sacrifice fly. And then in the game on Tuesday night, Qualls again came into the 8th inning, faced 3 batters, gave up a home run to Pagan and base hits to Turner and Wright. They both eventually came around to score, and Qualls was charged with the loss. So he trying to redeem himself this afternoon. Behind on Turner, 2-0. And he lines one down the left field line. Foul.
Qualls is ready to go. My nightmare continues. But it's foul. Just a hard hit strike.
Joe Thatcher, the lefty, staying busy in the bullpen. He's been up a lot. He has not been in a game yet in this series. Getting ready for Duda, who's the 4th man up in this inning. Let's have lots of left-hand hitting on their bench. The only right-hand hitter, though, is Angel Pagan, a switch hitter, and his availability is in question because of the back spasms that knocked him out yesterday. Turner bounces one for Gonzalez to handle. Nice easy hop, 1 away. So Turner is retired. Here's David Wright. David's 1 for 2 and a walk, and he's scored a run. Now the Mets' all-time leader in total bases, knocking Ed Kranepool out of the record book with his 5th inning single. David is 5 for 15 in this series, including a home run. Mets have had just 3 hits in this game, and David has to vacate.
Good time for a home run right now. This just gets away from Qualls. And he stays right there, deep in the box, on top of the plate.
David has 4 hits and 12 career at-bats against Chad Qualls. Jason Bay waiting on deck. If anybody gets on here in the 7th inning, Duda will get a turn. And the slider catches the outside corner. Wright didn't think so.
Well, I'll tell you what, Vic Carapazzo, home plate umpire, has been calling the low strike and the borderline low strike. He missed one poorly on Nick Evans with the bases loaded, striking him out. But every other one, he's been consistent. He's going to give that pitch, that borderline knee-high strike to the pitcher. And as long as you're consistent, as a hitter, you know it, it's fine.
By the way, after Evans struck out, remember Carapazzo threw out somebody in the Mets dugout. Turned out it was hitting coach Dave Hudgens who got ejected. 2-2 now to Wright.
Protecting his brood?
Well, he felt as though Nick Evans had been wronged. It was a big situation. Bases were loaded. And Evans got called out on a very borderline pitch. 2-2 from Qualls to Wright. And it's popped up. Gonzalez taking charge through the sunglasses, 2 away.
Well, I think David was sitting on that slider and got it, and he just got under it. You saw his reaction after he made contact. Watch his reaction after he pops this one up. Right there to hit. He knows it. He says, I know exactly what he says. I said it myself.
Those things you can't say on TV. There's Jason Bay. Pop fly single in 3 at-bats. Mets have drawn 5 walks today and had a batter hit by a pitch, but only 3 hits. Bay a pop fly single. Duda's 2-run double in the 3rd, and Wright had a hit in the 5th. That's it. Did Bay go around? He did not. Marty Foster gives the safe sign, 1-1.
Agreed.
One from Qualls, and that's on the outside corner. Nice looking fastball, 1-2.
I think Qualls is a little more determined this appearance after getting torched the first 2 games.
Bay is 3 for 8 with a home run against Qualls. 2-2. You know, the Padres getting a run in the 7th inning. That got Corey Lubke off the hook. Lubke went 5 innings, allowed 2 runs, 3 hits, 4 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Anthony Bass, a hitless 6th. And now Qualls working the 7th for Bud Black, whose bullpen has been a little torn up in this series. Held on last night. Heath Bell was brought in with a 5-run lead and wound up facing the tying run in the 9th. That just missed, 3-2. So full count to Bay with Duda on deck, and the lefty getting ready in the San Diego bullpen.
Fastball away.
And he got him. Side retired. So Qualls with a comeback performance sets the Mets down 1-2-3. We go to the 8th. Neese back to the mound in a 2-2 game. Coverage of today's Mets Padres game and everything New York sports. Geico Sports Night tonight and every night, 10:30, right here on SNY. Well, the Mets a little shorthanded in the bullpen, so in a 2-2 game in the 8th, it's DJ Carrasco who's loosening up. John Neese will try and take the Mets through the 8th. Cameron Maybin leads off. Maybin broke up Neese's shutout in the 6th inning with his 7th home run of the year. Padres added a run in the 8th to get this game even. And a nice cutter in on the hands of Maybin. It's a ball and a strike. Logan Forsythe on deck, then Jesus Guzman for San Diego as the Padres try for a split of this 4-game series. They've had themselves quite a road trip. A sweep in Pittsburgh. To the right side toward the hole and past Turner, a base hit from Maybin. Turner was playing Maybin up the middle like a pull hitter. And Maybin has himself a leadoff hit. Let's check in with Chris Carlin. He has a New York State Smokers Quit Line game break. remarkably no home runs in that game. Last night, a 3-2 game with 4 home runs. Typical Cincinnati game. Call strike to Forsythe.
Well, 27 stolen bases at first base, leading off there. Maben with the single.
He's tough to run on. Only 4 steals against him this year. Luke Gregerson up now in the San Diego bullpen. David Wright staying in at third, thinking Forsythe might be bunting, and he squares, and Nice picks off Maben. Duda's throw is not in time. Wow, the ball appeared to beat him, but the second base umpire Bill Welke called Maben safe.
I think he made the right call. I thought the tag was up the arm. Let's see. Duda makes one mistake, and that's inexperience, and I think he beat the throw.
And Nice was visibly upset after that call.
Oh boy, I tell you.
Well, that was awfully close. That's a play where 99 times out of 100 the umpire's going to call him out because the ball beats him.
Yep.
And Terry Collins is going out to the mound because look at this reaction from Nice. He really lost his composure here, and I think Terry is now out there trying to settle him down. So Nice had Maben picked off, but Maben steals the base, his 28th.
Well, he got him picked off, and the one mistake that Duda makes. Let's see. He's in. I think he got in. He's right here. Duda waits for the ball to get to him. Maybe we can run it back again and just freeze it.
So you're saying he should step out and meet the ball.
Go get the ball from the pitcher. And not only it shortens the distance of the throw, it cuts the angle off on your throw to second base.
And Forsythe can't get the bunt down.
And that's just inexperience.
And more important even for a right-hand thrower than for a left-hand thrower to create that angle, right?
Yes. So it's more problematic for a right-hander, yes. Let's take a peek at this.
Very close.
Very.
That heel of the hand is what hits the bag first. 0-2 to Forsythe, no longer bunting, and he skips out of the way. A ball and 2 strikes. Forsythe 0 for 3 today, 2 for 11 in the series. So the go-ahead run at second and nobody out. And Maben can fly, windmill and all. Tim Burdock has joined DJ Carrasco in the Mets bullpen. It's all right-hand hitters coming up, though.
Well, there isn't a lefty in the lineup.
They've got Will Venable on the bench as a left-hand hitter, and Venable had a huge night last night with 4 hits. Two-two to Forsythe, and the curveball struck him out. There's a big strikeout for John Nice, his 6th of the day.
Well, Forsythe just was eaten alive in 4 at-bats against Nice.
So 1 out. I think I'd be inclined to walk Jesus Guzman, wouldn't you?
Yes.
And Terry Collins on the same page, and Mets will throw him 4 wide ones. Guzman has been held in check today, just an infield hit in 3 at-bats, but he's been stinging line drives for 4 days. So this will be Nice's 2nd walk of the afternoon. And we'll see whether he gets another batter here. Kyle Blank's coming up. Nice will be over 110 pitches now. I think Terry's got Burdock up because there are some situations where even against a right-hand hitter where he might have more faith in Burdock than he does in Carrasco.
Well, the only right-hander they got, because the catcher's Rob Johnson, is Jason Bartlett.
Well, Bartlett already pinch hit.
That's true. I'm sorry. I forgot to.
Well, you have Orlando Hudson, a switch hitter, but you don't know if he's available. He's got the groin injury. So now here is Blanks, and Nice will stay in to face him. Blanks has walked and flied out twice, 0 for 2.
I like this. This is how, Nice is young. Let him. This is your game. getting you out there another inning to get a chance to get a W here. Let them pitch out of this.
Tie game, 8th inning, and Blanks takes the curveball for a strike. Nice looking curve to start him off. 114 pitches now for Nice. 23 pitch second inning. He got out of a big jam that inning with a couple of strikeouts. A ball and a strike to Blanks. Blanks 5 for 12 in this series. Maben at second, Guzman at first with one down. Padres have 7 hits, the Mets have 3. And Blanks yanks one foul. A ball and 2 strikes. Scott Hairston playing extraordinarily deep in center field. He wouldn't have a chance in the world of throwing anybody out on a base hit.
Boys, just about over there in Flushing Bay.
In the iron triangle. Pulled again, foul. Still 1-2. Well, Hairston has not played a lot of center field this year, so you know he's feeling comfortable playing back there, but situationally you figure you'd like to be a little more shallow to give yourself a chance at throwing out that go-ahead run. One-two from Nice. Maben runs, swing and a miss, throw down to third, not in time. The double steal is executed as Blanks strikes out for the second out. Wright feeling as though Maben had come off the bag, kept the tag on him, but Jeff Nelson said he held on.
Well, you should have done this a lot earlier, shouldn't you? Not with 2 strikes. And he's in there, that's for sure, easily.
Let's keep it rolling here, see if Maben comes off the bag. Wright never took that tag off his hip, but Maben just kept the foot on. Now second and third and 2 down. Aaron Cunningham the batter, and he takes a curveball for a strike. So another first pitch curve that Nice throws to get ahead. Cunningham doubled to right and scored the tying run in the 7th. Maben now at third, Guzman at second with 2 out. Nice at 120 pitches now, and he misses away, a ball and a strike. How far is Terry Collins willing to go with John Nice?
This is probably his last inning, I would think.
Ground ball, Tejada to his right, he boots it, and the Padres take the lead. Ruben Tejada coming in and to his right. That's a ball that's given him trouble several times, and the Padres lead at 3-2 as Maben comes in to score.
Well, this is a play where he comes in running and the ball comes up. I don't like that. I like coming in and settling and come and get it, but not on the run, because it just leaves yourself open for a bad hop. The ball's hit hard enough where you can field it normally with your body in front using 2 hands.
So Tejada's error gives the Padres the lead. Nice ties his career high with 122 pitches. He'll leave behind. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Lincoln. 3-2 San Diego in the 8th. He's on the hook in this game after going 7 2/3, throwing 122 pitches, matching a career high. 3-2 San Diego. DJ Carrasco comes in to face Alberto Gonzalez, 1st and 3rd and 2 out. And the curveball pulled. David Wright with a diving stop up to his feet, and he gets him side retired. Brilliant play by David Wright, and Carrasco throws one pitch to get a very tough 3rd out. The Padres get an unearned run on the Tejada error and lead at 3-2. And Luke Gregerson will come on to protect it, working for the 3rd straight day.
Well, Gregerson, the big workhorse, big guy, big sinker ball. We've seen his 3rd appearance in this series. Mets got to him last night, got a run off him.
Camp kids having a ball here at Citi Field. It's been a beautiful afternoon. Tight ball game. Mets had a 2-0 lead, but the Padres with a home run from Maben in the 6th. They added a run in the 7th to tie the game, and then the unearned run in the 8th, putting San Diego in front. So now the Mets, who rallied from behind late in the ball game Monday and Tuesday, fell a little short in the 9th inning yesterday. Will try and come from behind in the late innings today. Lucas Duda has driven in the only 2 Met runs with a long double to right in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. It'll be Duda, Evans, and Paulino due up against Gregerson, and the Mets have lots of left-handed bats in the dugout. And in fact, one of them is out on deck, Willie Harris, to bat for Evans. As that squirts past Martinez, 1-0 to Duda. So Chad Qualls worked a 1-2-3-7, and he's now pitcher of record on the long side for San Diego, after struggling so badly in the first 2 games of the series. Joe Thatcher is up yet again in the San Diego bullpen. And Duda watches wide. 2-0. Gregerson keeping it away from Duda. Now has fallen behind 3-0. So there's Harris on deck to bat for Evans. Then you've got Paulino due up. And you got a red hot Josh Tolley sitting in the dugout, coming off a 4-hit game last night. That's ball 4. So Gregerson not coming close, and Duda's on with a leadoff walk. And the Mets have the tying run on base with nobody out.
Not what you want from your skipper right there, and walking the leadoff hitter with a 1-run lead on 4 pitches.
So now Willie Harris will bat for Nick Evans, who struck out in all 3 of his bats today. and left the bases loaded in the 5th. Harris last night came on as a pinch hitter in the 8th and drove in a run with a base hit against Gregerson. And now he'll face him again. Jason Isringhausen hoping for a shot at his 300th save if the Mets can grab a lead, getting ready in the Mets bullpen. Tying run at first and nobody out, and Harris squaring and skips out of the way, ball 1. So Gregerson still hasn't thrown a strike.
5 straight balls.
And now the entire infield is going to group around Bud Black as he comes out to the mound.
Oh, he said something about the mound. Of course. Had to be.
Got to be the mound's fault. Well, Gregerson's a guy who generally doesn't walk anybody. 11 walks in 41 innings this year.
So Bud Black is saying to his pitcher, if that's the problem, why in the heck are you throwing 4 straight balls? You just aired him out. You don't want to hear the excuse.
If you have a problem, say something. Ryota Igarashi alongside Jason Isringhausen, so probably Igarashi if the Mets are behind, Isringhausen if they're tied or ahead in the 9th inning. Well, no ground crew involvement, or is there? Are they asking for the grounds crew? Yeah, the third base umpire, Jeff Nelson, just went over to talk to the grounds crew, but I don't think they're going to do anything right now. And Gregerson will continue to pitch with the mound the way it is. So it's 1-0 to Harris. We'll see if the bunt is still on. Willie's had 2 at-bats against Gregerson, and he has 2 hits.
Give him a swing. Give him a pitch to swing. 1-0. You see the defense right there. In at the corner. Got to guard the line. And they're going to bunt. Okay.
And a nice bunt. Guzman's got to go to first with it. 3-4 on the sacrifice, and now the tying runs at second.
Cannot second guess that. That's playing for the tie late in the ball game.
Polino will stay in to face Gregerson. Ronnie today is 0 for 3, 1 for 8 in the series. So I guess the threat of the left-hander in the San Diego bullpen caused Terry to stick with Polino rather than go with Tolley.
And they are not guarding the line, so that's a managerial philosophy there. Both corners, you see, third and first, off the line.
Tying run at second with 1 out. And Polino hits a slow ground ball. In comes Darnell to throw him out. 2 away. And Duda has to hold at second. Well, you look at the scorecard. Padres have already used Anthony Bass and Chad Qualls. Gregerson in the game now. So they've got 2 from the left, 2 from the right remaining. Mets have used Harris off the bench. So they've still got 3 left-hand hitters and perhaps the switch hitting Pagan if he is available with the back spasm issue. So here's Ruben Tejada, who's 0 for 1 today and has walked twice. Ruben 4 for 13 in the series. And he bats here with the tying run at second and 2 out of the 8th. Josh Tolley has come out on deck to bat for the pitcher. And Tejada takes ball 1. Well, that's interesting. If you didn't use Tolley to bat for Polino, you'd send him up to bat for the pitcher, and then if they brought in the lefty, you could not make a change because Tolley would have to catch. Well, I guess not. That's the advantage of batting him here rather than batting him for Polino, is that you could switch because Polino would still be in the game.
Right. There we go.
Now we have Harris scratched appropriately.
That's why they have Ken Oberfeld do that down in the dugout.
It's very neat. Our guys are neat, but only, electronically. 2-0 to Tejada. And he bounces one on the right side. Nice easy hop for Forsythe. And that does it for the Mets in the 8th. A leadoff walk, but the Mets can't get Duda around. We go to the 9th, 3-2 San Diego. in New York. Just a perfect mid-August afternoon. Mets are down 3-2 as we go to the ninth inning. Willie Harris, who pinch hits, stays in the game in right field. DJ Carrasco threw one pitch to get the last down in the eighth. Stays on to pitch the ninth, and James Darnell takes a strike. Darnell has had a rough day at the plate. 0 for 3, twice has had a runner at third with less than 2 out, and has been unable to bring him in. Lines this one to right field, and Harris will have to play it on a hop. So Darnell has his second major league hit. A leadoff single off Carrasco in the ninth. And let's see how the Padres play it here. Luis Martinez, who drove in the go-ahead run with a soft single off John Neese in the seventh. Actually drove in the tying run. Heath Bell up in the bullpen. Bell pitched in a non-save situation last night through 25 pitches. Getting ready for a save chance today. Mets looking for the bunt for Martinez, but he's not bunting. 0-1. Wright was in very close at third base. Martinez looking down to Glenn Hoffman, the third base coach, to see what's on here. Will Venable has come out on deck to pinch hit. Padres have scored a run in each of the last 3 innings to take the lead. There goes the runner. It's a hit and run, and he fouls it off.
0-1 hit and run. How about that?
So Darnell was on his way.
Like the call?
Now it puts Martinez in a hole. He's already struck out twice today, and had that RBI single in the seventh. Padres have out hit the Mets 8-3.
No, if Venable comes up, it's going to bring Burdack in. That's for sure. That's a hint to the trucks to get prepared for a commercial break.
You think they need a lot of notice? Out to center field. Hairston playing deep is in the right spot. Martinez retired. Darnell back to first, one away. And now Will Venable is announced into the game. And we'll see whether Keith's preparations were spot on.
4 hits last night. Venable had a big night.
Yeah, it looks like Terry's going to stay with Carrasco to pitch to Venable.
Okay.
So there you go. No spot break necessary.
Well, it's always good to be prepared.
I'll have to get that spot in later. Venable 4 for 5 last night. Had a single, 2 doubles, and a triple, and he went line to line with his hits. Triple to right, single to center, double to left center, double to left. And that earned him a seat on the bench today. Tough game.
Well, as Mama said, it never was going to be easy.
Carrasco's thrown 7 pitches since he came in the last inning. All strikes. Venable's 4-hit game yesterday was the 4th of his major league career. He's in his 4th season. His dad, Max, played for 12 years. Only had 2 4-hit games. So Will he's got 1 up on Dad. Slow ground ball. Turner goes to second with it and gets the force there for the second out. Not hard enough to even think about turning 2.
And Turner doing the proper thing, realizing no chance, but make sure of the throw. Get the lead runner. There he does the pivot, so the throw is right on, accurate on line.
So now Venable at first with 2 out. And Cameron Maybin, who's had a big hand in this game. Maybin is 2 for 4. He homered for the first San Diego run in the 6th. And then in the 8th, he singled, stole second, stole third, and came home on the 2-out error by Tejada that gave the Padres the lead. Maybin's had himself some series. 7 hits and 18 at bats. 3 RBIs. And really appears to be coming into his own after we saw so much of him with the Marlins, and it just took him a little while. Came up at a very young age. He's only 24 now. And just a bundle of talent. Stopped on a hop by Polino, 2-0. There's that series for Maben. Grew up in Asheville, North Carolina, where he was a huge fan of the Asheville Tourists, a local minor league team. Spent a lot of time at Old McCormick Field, where the Tourists played. There goes the runner. Polino's throw is high, and Venable has a stolen base. For Max Venable, his 22nd steal of the year.
Well, good time to steal, now a base hit. Big insurance run in scoring position.
I think I'd give Maben ball 4 here, the way he's been swinging the bat, and deal with Logan Forsythe instead. And Terry Collins agrees. They'll put Maben on, so it'll be intentional ball 4. So Maben's on base for the 3rd time today. And here comes Logan Forsythe, who's 0 for 4. Don't forget, as soon as we're done here, keep it tuned for Lincoln Postgame Live. Chris Carlin and Bobby Ojeda, fresh off his in-game chat. Love to read the transcript. We'll have all the highlights, the analysis. Take you into the clubhouse, hear from Terry Collins as well, all on Lincoln Postgame Live right after the game right here on SNY. Forsythe has struck out his last 2 at-bats, and he takes the curveball for a strike from Carrasco. You ever do an in-game chat?
No.
Would you like to?
I don't chat. Don't you know my style up here? I hardly chat up here. You think I want to chat on the computer?
Isn't this what we're doing right now? Aren't we chatting? I know you don't tweet, but I know you know how to text.
I do know how to text. I'm a very good typer. I do good email.
So you could do a chat and do your own typing, because I think they'll provide you with a typist if you want it.
No, as a matter of fact, probably the best class I ever took was 2 years of typing in high school. I got the most use out of that.
It's very practical. Did you take home ec too?
No, I did not.
1-1 to Forsythe. Bounce toward the hole. This time on the backhand. Tejada goes to second, and just in time. Now, Tejada had the trouble with the play going to his right in the last inning. A little tentative this time, but gets the out to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 9th. 3-2 San Diego. On the Diamondbacks, who sit in first place in the National League West. Dylan G opens the series against Ian Kennedy. Our coverage begins at 9 o'clock tomorrow night with Pepsi Max pregame live right here on SNY. The former Met Heath Bell is on. He has not had himself a great series so far, but he'll bid for the save this afternoon.
Well, this will be the big redeemer for him right here if he can have a clean inning.
We talked about it last night, the fact that Bud Black brought Heath Bell in with a 5-run lead in the 9th inning and wondered, if he had a long inning, how would that affect him the next day in a 1-run game? And here it is. Bell threw 25 pitches, gave up a run, an unearned run in that 9th. And now he comes back and looks to protect a 3-2 lead.
And Josh coming off a 4-for-5 day yesterday.
So Tolley pinch hitting for Carrasco, then Hairston and Turner as the Mets try and fight back in the bottom of the 9th. And Josh takes a strike with a fastball, 0-1.
Mets only have 3 hits in this game.
Their last hit came in the 5th inning when David Wright singled. Mets have had base runners, though. They've drawn 6 walks. Throwing a hit batsman, they've left 9 runners on base. They left 13 last night. And Tolley swings and misses at the breaking ball, 0-2. Mets have had a game this year when they had only 2 hits. That was against the Braves back in April.
Curveball. Wants it away. I got them left 10 men on base, Gare.
Let's see.
Left the bases loaded, right, in the 5th?
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
We'll go over it in a moment.
It's all right. Mere bag of shells.
Yeah, we like to be up to date.
Curveball away.
And Tolley watches that one down. Let's see, I got 2 left in the 1st. Yep, 1 in the 2nd.
Correct.
1 in the 3rd.
1.
Yes.
Oh, there's my mistake. There's my mistake.
See, we're back on the same page again. Sometimes we get off the rails.
Thank you for the correction.
Mets are just 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position, leading to the 9 left on base. Tolley looking to get something started in the 9th. And Bell staying with his curveball. And again, Tolley watches it down, 2-2. He took the loss in the opening game of the series. Came in to try to protect an 8-6 lead. Gave up 3 runs in the 9th. There were 2 wild pitches in that inning. Lucas Duda's base hit beat him. Bell, who spent 3 years riding the New York to AAA shuttle.
He shook off the fastball away and wants to another curve.
And Tolley wastes it. Well, a much better showing by the San Diego bullpen so far tonight. A hitless inning for Anthony Bass. A 1-2-3 inning for Chad Qualls, who is pitcher of record on the long side. And Luke Gregerson, after a leadoff walk, negotiating his way through the 8th. And now Bell trying to steal the deal.
Likes his hook.
2-2 to Tolley. Just missed. Almost backdoored him, and now it's 3-2. So Bell was ahead 2 strikes. Now he's gone full. Padre pitchers have walked 6 tonight and struck out 9.
Fastball away.
Right at the shortstop.
Oh.
Gonzalez playing it off to the side, throws him out. Not the way you'd recommend it, but Alberto Gonzalez handles it, 1 away.
Definitely not.
So 1 out and nobody on. Now the former Padre Scott Hairston will try and produce some 9th inning magic. Hairston has had some memorable home runs against quality closers this year. 1 off Brian Wilson in San Francisco, 1 off Drew Storen in Washington. Now he gets a shot at his former teammate Bell. Hairston 0 for 3 and a walk, filling in center field and in the leadoff spot this afternoon.
Curveball. This whole series, he's been really erratic with his breaking stuff. With his number one pitch, his curve, Heath.
Well, that's what got him in trouble in that game on Monday night when he blew the save. Now the fastball up and in, nowhere close to where he wanted it, and it's 2-0. So Bell just not quite at his sharpest, and the Mets try to take advantage here in the ninth.
Fastball away. Better get it down.
And here's to with that fast bat. Fouls it back, 2-1.
Well, there's that high fastball. He had a rip on it, just out high enough. Good rip.
Scott Hairston with 7 home runs this year has the highest slugging percentage among current Mets. Came into the day with a .531 slugging percentage, so he is always a threat. Bell looking to keep the ball away. Hairston pops it up, shallow right, and Cunningham is there. 2 out. So the Mets are down to their final out of the afternoon with Justin Turner coming up. Turner today is 0 for 2, a walk. He's been hit by a pitch. He's stolen a base. He's scored a run. Trying to get aboard and ahead of David Wright. Mets game plan, bloop, blast. 2 out and nobody on. Dell to Turner. Fouled away. This would be a very tough luck loss for John Neese unless the Mets can rally. That dollar bill has been sitting on the warning track since the first inning.
And not very lucky.
You know, could buy a lottery ticket with that dollar and you never know what might happen.
I didn't think of that.
Ball and a strike to Turner. I mean, normally the grounds crew here is meticulous at picking up trash that blows onto the field, but I guess they're not looking at that dollar bill as trash. And now Bell 1 strike away from nailing it down.
Big curveball right there. There's the Heath Bell curve. Not a strike. Tough to lay off.
Going right back to it. And this one Turner lays off 2-2.
And he doesn't want to face Wright with a chance of Wright coming up to win the ball game with 1 swing. He shook off the fastball. Oh, he's playing games here. Aha.
2-2. Too high, and now a full count to Turner.
Fastball away.
Got to throw him a fastball, don't you, with Wright on deck? 3-2. Bouncing ball to short. Gonzalez has it, and the ball game is over. The Padres gain a split of the 4-game series, getting a run in the 6th, a run in the 7th, and an unearned run in the 8th. A very hard loss for John Neese as the Mets finish a 3-6 homestand.
Well, the Mets, again, an untimely error from shortstop Ruben Tejada in the 8th inning that was the deciding run. 1st and 3rd, 2 outs. He booted the ball. Padres come back after losing the first 2 and gain a split. Neese, who had gotten 2 wins and not so good a starts, 2 prior starts before this game, pitches a fine game today. 7 2/3, 3 runs, 2 earned, but gets the loss.
Well, the Mets will see more of the Padres next week in San Diego. Mets won the first 2 games of the series. The Padres take the last 2. The Mets now a game under 500. Nice goes 7 2/3, but takes the loss. There's a Chase game summary. We'll have more from Flushing in just a moment.